Awesome. All right. Well, it feels good to be here. 11 p.m. Eastern, Thursday night. Tick Podcast is in the building. We do apologize for not showing up last week. Just a lot of scheduling conflicts, man. Everybody is really busy. New jobs, new children, life. Life is it takes on itself, and it can be overwhelming at times. Absolutely. But we are here. We made sure to be here for you guys. And that's super important to us and super important to all of our listeners and followers and things like that. We're very grateful for that. So give us a like. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and make sure your friends know about the show. We're going to start early because we want to jump right into what we're going to be talking about tonight. A little bit of Red Dead, a little bit of Nintendo, a lot of Xbox, and we'll see where it takes us as the conversation gets flowing. So here we go. Thank you for tuning in to the premiere podcast for Xbox One Tick Podcast. I'm your host, KORXKLL, with B Money 101.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's good to be back.
And Anchorman V.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, man. So it feels good to have a team together. I really don't want to do any shows if we don't have the team together. I've been reaching out to a few guests here and there, but I definitely want to make sure that we are always together when we start doing our shows. It's really important to me that the Trinity is always together at all times. A lot of things happened today. Surprisingly, all at once. We got Nintendo's reveal of their console. We got Rockstar dropping their new sequel to a highly anticipated game. Xbox got the orange box on BC. Man, Logan trailer came out today. Like, today was almost Christmas for some media fans out there. But before we get started, we're going to jump into Red Dead. We have to talk about Red Dead. Before I jump into Nintendo, because Nintendo is a hot topic, I want to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. Big reveal from Rockstar. I'm very excited about the game. I know a lot of people are excited about the game. I know the team is excited about the game. But we've been hearing a ton of rumors, hearing a ton of things. And for me, I really just want this story to be like the Magnificent Seven. I'm seeing multiple cowboys. I'm seeing a team. I'm seeing a group dynamic. I wouldn't mind if the game was co-op, which would absolutely blow me away if they were able to pull that off. It doesn't even have to be 7-player co-op, but it could just be like 2 or 3-player co-op, 4-player co-op, which would just melt everybody's dreams, honestly, being able to play Red Dead with your friends and complete that story, because there's so many characters. At least there's so many characters that they showed, but I doubt it, because just like Grand Theft Auto, that is going to be a single player experience. But I would not be surprised if they made the online just like GTA, and I can see that happening. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on all over to my panelist, B Money 101, and get his thoughts on Red Dead Redemption 2. So what you think, B?
I was definitely excited, when they start showing the little teaser stuff, when they first put up the logo, the Rockstar logo, and then they showed the characters by themselves, and then they finally revealed that it was Red Dead Redemption 2, which is kind of surprising because we heard rumors that it could be a prequel. And might have been, a slightly different name change, but to see that as Red Dead Redemption 2 makes me think that it's actually a sequel and not a prequel. So I'm pretty excited about that. I want to see where they take the story. I think having or at least showing all of those characters in a logo would kind of let you know that there would be some online component, and that it probably would be something similar to what GTA offers. So I'm kind of excited about that. I want to see more. They did do a little bit of a teaser trailer earlier today, which was not really much there, but it kind of sets the tone for what to expect in the near future. So excited to see what they reveal, and if they'll continue to reveal more things later this year. Since we do have the Video Game Awards later this year, we may see something there.
Right. Anchor?
All right. So I was talking about this a little bit earlier with a couple of the guys about how they handled this. I think the biggest culprit behind it, why this trailer didn't resonate with a lot of people, was that they hyped it up way too much. They started the teasing on Sunday night, and then with just the red Rockstar logo, and then they did the silhouette against the sun on Monday, and then they said, "Oh, it's Red Dead Redemption coming out Thursday, new trailer coming out Thursday," and a lot of people got really hyped for it, and they said it was coming out this next year, within a year from now, and a lot of people were expecting. I know some people were expecting gameplay, which is kind of ridiculous, honestly, for a trailer this far out. But at the same time, we were expecting a little bit more from a trailer, and I don't know. I just don't. I think the trailer just kind of sucked. Like all it really showed was that it's set in, I guess, Montana. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's interesting. It's a good setting, but that's kind of it. Like I was expecting a little bit more than that.
I don't know, man. Listen, I'm a Red Dead head. What's crazy is that I need to buy Red Dead BC because I played the game and I got towards the end. And for anybody right now who has not played Red Dead Redemption, I'm not going to give away a spoiler, but it's slightly a spoiler if you haven't played it. First of all, it's a phenomenal game. Wild West, gunslinging, poker card playing, it's an amazing story. The way everything is set up, the plot, everything, even the big twist at the end. And the twist at the end is what got me. I've never been so upset at a game so much to the point that I traded it in and didn't even realize there was a second ending to that game. So if you guys have beat the game, you know what happened at the end, then you know what I'm talking about. And I was really pissed off. Like, I literally thought that was the end of the game. And I got so frustrated, I just took the disc right out and just traded it in. I never got to the part after that. So I would love to play the VC version of that game. But that's how captured I was with Red Dead. And I think that's how a lot of people feel about Red Dead. It's rare that first of all, there's not many cowboy games. Like, the cowboy genre is not large at all. And most of the time, when these things come out, they never execute it properly. I think Rockstar was the first to really take, what they had started with. What is it, Gun? I think it was Gun, right? Or was it Red Dead Revolver? No, Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah, Gun was made by a different company.
Gun was something else. Right, yeah. Right. So Red Dead Revolver. So what they did with Red Dead Revolver and take it to a whole nother level with Red Dead Redemption. And it was really impressive what they've done. So everybody expects this game to be superb. Trailer-wise, I wasn't expecting too much. It also, when I watched the trailer, it gave me that Skyrim feel. Remember when we was at E3 and we were sitting there watching them announce the remaster, and all they kept showing us was water and forest scenes? That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
it was like, here were some trees, here's a horse, here is the grasslands, things like that. And that was really cool in my opinion, because what they tried to show you was that is so open world. Like, they're showing you this open plain that you'll be able to explore and go to and travel to, and then showing you in a group setting with other cowboys makes it seem like you won't be alone. This won't be a you against the world type story the way the first one was. Even though you wasn't alone on some missions, there were times where mainly it's really just you. It's just your story. Mm-hmm. So I'm hype about that, and I would love for them to do some type of Magnificent Seven type of thing where it's just like 7 guys against an entire army, or maybe in a revenge story with his son, one of those type of things. I would love for them to continue that to, like, it couldn't have just been this person. It has to go higher than that. It goes up to some type of state government agency that plotted this whole thing out. I think it would be really cool if they were able to accomplish that and do that. I think this game is going to sell. It's going to sell extremely well because it's really highly anticipated, and I can't wait to see what it looks like when it comes out on Scorpio, because that's what I'm getting it for. I'm not getting it for Xbox One. I'm not getting it for the NX or the PS4 Pro. Not the NX, excuse me, the Switch. I'm not getting it for the Switch, even if it does come out for it. But I am definitely picking it up for Scorpio. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Even though the PlayStation got the marketing rights for it?
Bro, let me tell you something about that. First of all, I wanna applaud Sony and their efforts in continuing to get these titles, these major AAA third-party marketing deals, because They really have pulled a Microsoft this generation. Somebody said something kind of moronic in a way a couple days ago. I was reading the comment, not a couple days ago. It was actually today. I'm sorry. I've been gone all day. It feels like I've been gone a couple days. But somebody said something in the comic section when I was reading when Sony got the marketing deal. And it was like, yes, Sony got the marketing deal because of money and trust. I'm like, trust? What are you talking about right now? No, this has nothing to do with trust. This has to do with money. That's all it ever has to do with, money. And just like Microsoft, when money had things, Sony has money had things, but they've done a really good job at doing it this generation. And it's easier to do when you have the install base that you have. And that's great for them because like 360, when they had the install base, they were in control of everything and they were getting all of the, third-party marketing deals and third-party timed exclusivity deals and all that stuff like that. So big shout out to Sony, and they're doing their damn thing. They're playing that role. And I really was expecting Microsoft to make a move on that because they had Red Dead BC. And I think it would have made a lot of sense for them to get it. But this deal seems like it was already in place. Rockstar has a great relationship with Sony. They've had one since the early Grand Theft Auto days. They've always had a great relationship with Sony, and it just makes sense. And recently, I know I'm rambling on, but recently I heard that they actually still owe Sony. Rockstar owes Sony. And I was told that by, what is his name? I can't remember. Jabril, I believe. Met a guy named Jabril on Twitter. Shout out to Jabril.
Oh, Jabril Williams, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jabril
guy,
Williams.
Man.
Yeah, shout out to Jabril Williams. He brought up something to me, and he was talking about how Sony, LA Noire was supposed to be a Sony exclusive. Was supposed to be exclusive on the PlayStation 3, but it wind up becoming multi-platform and hitting the Xbox One. So in return, they were supposed to make Agent for the PlayStation, but it never came out. So this just continues on with, whatever Sony and Rockstar has, continuing that relationship where Rockstar seems like they still kind of owe Sony because they haven't released Agent. That game's kind of gone into hiding. It's kind of defunct in a way. We don't know what that game is or where it is. We haven't heard from it. And
they keep renewing the trademark for that game too, though.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Weird.
It is weird. I don't know if it's a Sony thing. I don't know if it's a Rockstar thing, but that game has been in limbo forever. I would love to see what that game looks like. But honestly, it's just crazy. So good on them. But Microsoft has to get Mass Effect. Some PlayStation fans laughed at me today. I didn't respond. I really didn't think it was funny. I just really felt that it was important that Microsoft got Mass Effect because next year is big for Microsoft. Like next year is really big for Microsoft. You got Scorpio dropping at the end of the year. You got all these games coming out next year, plus whatever you will announce at E3 or, whatever you have planned. And it's just really important that they continue to try to get big marketing deals as well. A lot of people keep forgetting Microsoft had Fallout. They had Tomb Raider. They still have third-party exclusive deals like Dead Rising. They had Sunset and stuff like that. New IPs.
This year, it's it's Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1.
Oh, they had other than exclusive, just third-party marketing deals. Because to a certain extent, for people who don't really pay attention to this stuff, who you align yourself with kind of matters.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most hardcore gamer types, we really don't care.
You're gonna buy the game where you play it at.
Yeah, you're just gonna buy it where you play it. You don't really. But if you're people who are looking at it like, oh, I want to buy that game, but I gotta get a system, they normally say, oh, it's on that system. Okay, I got it. Done. They already decided.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The only thing is Destiny I believe Destiny sold more in the U.S. than it did on PlayStation, but worldwide it sold more on PlayStation. Which is weird. Even though they had the marketing deal, it just sold really well in the U.S. on Xbox in comparison to PlayStation.
I think shooters.
So you never know. Yeah, I think shooters always do, except for Call of Duty. Call of Duty has sold 9 million.
I think it also might be due to market share for that one. I think it was because the United States is Xbox's best market.
Yeah, it's really close.
It's more of a sale there, and so the chances for it to sway over are much greater.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see. Microsoft is they definitely need to pick up Mass Effect. There's a few games that will release next year, some sequels, maybe some new IPs. But whatever they do, they definitely need to continue to get marketing deal and continue to bolster their deals as well as bolster their exclusive lineup, or shall I say console exclusive lineup, or Windows or Microsoft exclusive, whatever you want to call it. Cool. So moving on, Nintendo. Okay, I'm about to lose my mind right now, but Nintendo came out this morning and announced their new console, the Nintendo Switch. And after watching this, I was absolutely blown away. Now, before I get into the rant of what I want to talk about, Anchor, I want to get your thoughts on this, man, because this was just absolutely mind-boggling to me. I really need to care about specs because I know what Nintendo does. But just seeing what they showed, I was extremely excited. What did you think?
Yeah, I watched the trailer on my lunch break at my new job, and I thought the trailer was a little bit too long, but it kind of brought the point across. The thing with the NX is the NX is not, or not the NX. I sorry, the Switch. I'm sorry, I got to get used to saying that. The Switch. It was like whatever they called it, the PlayStation 4 Pro. Just Neo rolled off the tongue a little bit better. But the Switch, they're not trying to appeal to the not the non-hardcore market, but not the people who aren't really obsessed with power group. Like, they're not trying to appeal to the PS4 Pro consumers. They're not trying to appeal to the Scorpio guys. They're trying to appeal to flexibility and mobility.
Right.
And they are trying to say, hey, you want to play on home? You want to play at home? You want to play on a big screen TV? Plug this in. You can play. You want to go play? You want to go out on a trip? You want to go on a plane? Plug this in. You don't have to plug it in. Just take it out with you and start playing. You want to go? Just it gives you so many options of what you want to do, and I like it because, like, for me, like, when we went to E3, like, I just, that was the one time. I don't have a handheld or anything. That was the one time I wanted a handheld, and that would have been perfect. Like, that would have been the exact right scenario I wanted. And it's so, like, they're not trying to attack just one type of gamer. They're attacking everyone at the same time, which is great. But like I said before, like, they're not trying to compete necessarily with the Pro or the Scorpio that's going to come out next year. They're trying to attack everyone else. And the big thing for them is going to be price. If they can hit a price that's under $400, that's it. That's perfect.
That console's gonna be $299, bro. That console's gonna be $299 and $399 bundled with some games. It's gonna be $299.
That's what I'm saying, man. If they can do it for under $400, I'm saying $400 is the limit. Like, anything that or over, nah, people aren't gonna jump on board with that. But if they can go under, and they can say, hey, we got that third-party support people have been asking for. We got it. We've listened to what you guys wanted. You wanted an actual controller that could work. You can have that. People who want the handheld, you can have the handheld too. And they've done what they needed to do to bring it on back. But it's mainly, for at least for me, it's securing that third party, like, for a long period of time, like a year, and that it's a majority of the third party support, not just like, oh, here's one game. And if they can do that and they keep that price low, they could turn it around.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this was an exciting announcement for them. I think when I first watched the trailer, first thing I noticed is that there were no kids. There was, like, no family thing. This was kind of targeted towards, like, the casual gamer, the guy that can be on the go. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a smart decision on their part. It showed Skyrim being played there, showed NBA 2K being played there. Some more adult games besides just, the traditional Mario games and things like that. So I thought that was very important as well in the trailer. I'm totally excited about it. I've talked to you guys about this many times, even when we were at E3, that I was holding my reservations for Scorpio and what other platforms there could be in regards to PlayStation Pro or Neo at the time. I was just more excited to see what Nintendo was going to do. And I think with the trailer that they showed, they kind of knocked it out of the park. And I think if, like Anchor said, if they can get the pricing right, I think they got another hit on their hands.
Man, listen. You know why I'm hype on Nintendo right now, bro? I'm hype on Nintendo because they have done what I've been asking for months. Everybody that's followed Tick, everybody that listens to Super Pod Shots and Tick podcasts know exactly what I wanted from them. I didn't want no gimmicks. That's what I didn't want. When you look at the Nintendo Wii, that console was a gimmick. That wand was bogus. You wouldn't catch me dead swinging that thing around. Number two, the Wii U, that thing was a gimmick. That big ass screen with two controllers on the side, you wouldn't catch me with that. And then I got to use that to play games? That's insane. That thing is like what 12? What is like a 10-inch screen on it? I'm not doing that. That's insane. But the one thing they did that surprised me, that impressed me, was they showed an actual controller that was asymmetrical, just like the Xbox One controller. And that right there was enough to push me towards it, showing off games like the new Mario, showing off games like Zelda, being able to see Skyrim and NBA on there. And then to turn around and have, and just to be honest, just to be clear, the controller that they showed off is actually a separate controller from the one that detaches. That controller actually comes with the console, I'm told. There's two controllers. The first controller is the one that comes with the screen that attaches to the side that you can pop off. But the other controller is the one that's shaped like the Xbox One controller, and that's the Pro. That's the Pro controller, like the regular Nintendo Wii U Pro controller. That's the Pro controller for the Switch, and it's just like the Xbox One. I won't say just like, let me not say that. It's very similar.
It's designed.
Right. It's very similar design to the Xbox One controller. And what you have done in this process have now given me the opportunity to play the games that I am really into and feel comfortable playing them because I'm used to playing it a certain way with the controller that I absolutely find to be the best controller on the market. So you turn around, you show me that. Then you flip the script and you show me this detachable control pads that slide on seamlessly and detach seamlessly from this pad. And I mean, the dope thing is, like, when they take it out of the slot from the TV screen, it completely shuts down everything. Shuts down the TV, it shuts off the game, and it automatically just locks right into that screen. And I was impressed with it. Mario looked good in that little snapshot. If that's what Mario's going to look like, it almost looked like Mario 64.
Yeah, that's the same thing I said.
It looks so good. It looks super impressive. I was watching 2 trailers of Zelda today and was completely blown away and was excited. And I haven't been excited for a Zelda game in a very long time. I was really impressed with what they showed with Zelda. And I'm sitting up here, just all these random thoughts going through my head. And I'm sitting here like, I got 2 kids now. I got a baby girl who's 5 weeks. I got a son that'll be 4 in December. This console is what I've been looking for. It's the console that introduces them as they get older into games. And it also is a console that I'm able to enjoy and play and not feel like an idiot with either a big ass screen in front of me or a giant, or a wand swinging around. And the ironic part about that is that Wii U screen basically is pretty much exactly what they have for the Switch. It's almost the same thing, but it's slightly smaller. It's more tablet-like, and you can slide it in and slide it out. And it doesn't have a dumbass name like Wii. I hated the name Wii. I was not buying a Wii, and I wasn't buying a Wii U. So, third-party support for me is not a big deal because I'm getting a Scorpio, and all third-party games will be played on Scorpio for me. Absolutely every third-party game will be on Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? But for me, for Nintendo, it's all about this. It's all about exclusives. Mario, Donkey Kong, Star Fox, Metroid. I wouldn't get Splatoon, but I would definitely pick up other titles that they have within their library. Mario Kart, Mario Party. If they can continue to do those things, I'm excited. I even showed it to my wife today, and my wife was like, "That's pretty cool." My wife. You don't even understand. That's like an apocalypse. That's like a megaton bomb for her to say that looked cool. I constantly get cursed out on a regular basis when it comes to me playing games. So for her to say that looks really cool, they got her and they got me. So Nintendo really impressed me with that, and I'm actually going to get the Switch instead of the PS4 Pro. I was really going to get a PS4 Pro probably this Christmas. But now I'm looking at it from the perspective of I'm probably not going to get a Pro now because the NX comes out in March. And I'll pick up the NX, and I'm probably going to pick up Scorpio. And those will be my two platforms until, the next set of platforms come out or the Pro goes on some type of discount.
And that's a good point, though. A lot of people were wondering, like, why didn't they just announce it at E3? Why didn't they say anything then? I think it was timing. I think because they knew that since they found out that Scorpio was coming out next year at this time in fall 2017,
Right.
And they wanted to see what was going to happen with the Pro. And so what they did is notice it's a month before the Pro launches, or I think it's actually less than a month before the Pro launches, and you come out saying, hey, yeah, we're going to have another console, an actual next-gen console with all these games on it, and we're getting that third-party support, and it's actually going to come out when you have money to spend in March with your tax return.
Right. It's true, though. It's absolutely true. Very smart on Nintendo's part. They were trending. They were the number one trending thing on
Over
Twitter.
Red Dead?
Red Dead was like 17.
That was the big thing I was surprised about. Like Red Dead, when it was announced, like trending for like a little bit, like it was like around like 3 or 4, and then whenever NX came out, oh my god, it took over. Just totally took over.
All of the Nintendo fanboys came out of their caves. They walked into the light for the first time in decades and eons, and they were like, "Oh my God, Nintendo is back! We're back! We're they're coming out in droves, man." The Nintendo fanboy in me is coming out. It's crazy. I'm excited about it. I just really, and be honest with you, like I said before, for me, I don't really care about third-party support because I have an Xbox. So for me, it was really important. But there are just some really cool games on Nintendo that I would love to play, but I'm just not going to because I wouldn't want to play with those controllers. Like for me, it's about how I play and what I play with.
Now the real problem with it is this is actually a news story we wrote about a little earlier. Is we came out that the game that they were demoing supposedly, which was a Skyrim remaster, I assume it's remastered at least, is actually not confirmed to come for the Switch.
Right.
And that's a little concerning to me. And I think they actually said the same thing about it was an NBA 2K, I think.
But maybe it's not a remaster. Maybe it's a port.
Yeah, I don't know. But what they said, at least what Bethesda said, was like, hey, we're not confirming that the game's coming out exactly. We are giving them support. We are bringing games to the Switch, but we're not confirming that this game is coming to the Switch right now.
This doesn't make sense to me, right? You're Bethesda. You allowed them, because that's a copyright claim, you allowed them to run on that commercial. You allowed them to do that. People saw that just like they saw 2K, and they expect, like, if you're a Nintendo guy and you're only going to get the Switch, people expect those games to be on there. For you to then turn around and say, well, we don't know, that's an a-hole move. It really is.
That is kind of scummy on Bethesda's part. Like everyone here knows me. I'm the Bethesda fanboy. That's kind of scummy. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you don't show a game you're not going to have for them.
Now, B, I heard.
And if they're not going to put 2K on there, that's even worse. You know what I mean?
That is worse. That's terrible. I know B's a 2K fanboy. Yo, B, did you hear that the spec-wise, I heard, this is what I heard spec-wise. I heard that the NX will run games at 1080 60. Is running the NVIDIA Tegra 2 chip. The games will be 1080 60, and when you undock it to go into handheld mode, it drops from 1080 to 900 resolution, 900p. But when docked, it gets a power boost and runs 1080 60. It almost reminds me of the Surface Pro, where that dock actually gives it an increase in power. Whereas you separate it, it actually decreases the power because now it becomes a handheld.
That's actually pretty good.
That's really smart on their part.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
So Nintendo, third party wise, I think if you're a Nintendo guy, you just want the Nintendo console. Third party support is really important. and it really puts Nintendo back in the fold of things. It doesn't put them back in the fold of power and getting games graphically that's super impressive, but it puts them back into a space where
it's a
if you
companion
want a second,
console.
it's
That-
it's a
that's
companion
the
console.
problem
Exactly. Yep.
had with the Wii. The Wii U had this problem all last gen. So they could not justify themselves as a companion console. Because
Yep.
people, like it or not, people weren't just going to buy it just for the exclusives it had on there. You have to have some third-party support, and you can't rely on a gimmick. And having the whole second
Right.
screen thing, the way they handled it did not work.
Right.
Some games, like, why would you even have second screen support? Like, why would you
Right.
need it for Smash Bros? Ever? Like, there's no
Yeah.
That's what
need
I'm saying.
whatsoever to
Like,
have for Smash Bros. And
that's
like
why I felt
stuff
those
like
two
that makes
consoles
no
were.
sense.
Yeah, it never did for me. It never did for me, and I'm very happy that they're gone back. I feel like if they can revive their old franchises, and if they can continue to make new IPs, like I need Nintendo to make new IPs though. Like Splatoon, Splatoon sold so well because
Splatoon's
it
fun,
was a
man.
new,
You got to play
but
Splatoon.
Splatoon is
but it
good though.
also but it's also a new IP. That's
Yeah.
the thing. That's the thing. It's new. You don't really get a lot of new things from Nintendo because they have so many mascots. They have so many franchises. People tend to forget how many franchises they actually have, and they rely so heavily on them. So having a new IP for them is really impressive. And a lot of people gravitate towards, oh, it's new. I got to get it. So hopefully they continue this trend and they make new games straight out of Nintendo, and they have a new direction and stuff. Like I'm great. I'm happy with Mario and the new Donkey Kong, whatever they come out with. I'm pretty sure as a platformer, I will be impressed with how it looks graphically. I don't need a platformer to look realistic, but making it look good is really important. So I would definitely be, blown away by the next set of Donkey Kong or Mario's or Mario Karts or whatever they come out with. But them to make a new Metroid, and I need something with a mature theme. I need something action based wise. And that'll probably be my go-to system for JRPGs too. And I hope Nintendo really steps up and gets more JRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
they
it's
got a lot
important for
of
them to get third party, but I don't think they have to get every third party.
Right.
Yeah,
They
not
can-
everyone, but a
Yeah.
good, at least more than half. Like here's the thing: as a Bethesda guy, and Bethesda's someone out saying they're going to support this, I'm like, all right. So I expect to see, like, just saying the regular lineup that we know, like I'd want to see at least Skyrim remastered and Dishonored 2 on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I
at
wouldn't
least
mind
that
that
much. Like,
either.
you don't have to have every game. Like Battle Cry doesn't need to be there. I don't care, but I mean, like a good chunk of them.
Definitely. They definitely need a good chunk. They can get a good chunk of third party support. It would make it excellent. Like watching watching that little scene. As someone who travels back and forth to New York often because that's my home city, and I go up there for the holidays. I'm with my family. Traveling on a plane and sitting on a plane from Florida to New York for 2.5, 3 hours, or if we go to E3 and we travel on a plane from Florida to LA for 5 hours. Having a console that allows you to sit on the plane and play those games, that's amazing. Like the way they flipped it out with the little kickstand in the back, and you just have to control. Dude, I was like, I have got to get one of these. I have got to get one of these things. I was really impressed. Nintendo really impressed me. I didn't think they were going to. I think that's why I was so
I was
excited.
thinking. The part that got me was whenever they broke up the two controllers, and so you had two guys playing against each other, and it's on the same screen. I'm
I mean, it was really
Oh
small though, bro. I don't know. If you got grown man hands, bro, that's gonna be tough.
like, I know. I've played with I've played doing that before. Like it's basically like playing with a Wii remote.
That thing,
I mean, like you can play Smash Bros or whatever with a Wii remote. You just flip it sideways.
that thing looks really small though. It didn't look
It's
like
like playing with an NES controller.
It looks really small though, bro. Like those little thumbstick things that you detach, they look really small. But I can't wait to get my hands on one to see what it actually is like though. Really impressed with what they've done.
Yeah.
Really impressed with what they've done. This is to turn into like the Nintendo show. This is the premiere podcast for Nintendo.
Oh God, no. This is
no.
a passing fancy.
This is just passing. Exactly. All right. So moving on to the why everyone is here. We're talking about Xbox, the premiere podcast for Xbox. Microsoft needs to finish strong. Really important that they finish strong, man. They have done some really impressive stuff the past couple of months. Won the last 3 NPDs. A lot of people want to overlook it because it's not worldwide sales, but it starts at home. People tend to forget that America is a very large market with a very high attachment rate. We are a country based on consumerism, and we spend a lot on our hobbies and the things that we love, especially electronics, and gaming is a big business here in the States. So being able to continue to, I'm not saying they're coming back. I'm not saying that they're going to just win the next couple of months, but if they can continue to push forward with what they have, and then when Scorpio comes out, they can push that and gets a few months here and there and make up some ground. I believe they're 2 million down. That would be great for them. Again, it's not about sales, it's about games. But again, also keep in mind that consoles do make up market share, and the more consoles there are on the market, the more games you can sell, especially if PC gamers aren't buying your games. And it's like I said before, on 360, when they was putting games on PC, a lot of PC, you'd be surprised how many PC gamers bought those games. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't like they sold millions and millions of games on PC. They didn't. They barely broke 500,000. As a matter of fact, I looked at the recent numbers. What game did I look at? I looked at something recently. Was it Forza Horizon 2? Might have been Forza Horizon 2 on PC has barely broken, I don't even know. What is it like? I think it has like 300,000 sales on PC. And it's like over 1 million on the Xbox or whatever, or something like that. Or maybe not, or maybe close to it combined, like 700,000. But it's pretty close, man. And it's insane. It's insane. So Microsoft needs to continue to stay strong, and what they're doing with their games. A lot of people like Gears. I think Gears has really impressed me. I love the story. I love the direction that is going. I like the voice characters and the voice actors. I've been really impressed with the game. And for me, a lot of people say they feel more of the same, but I don't. Did you guys play Gears, right? Well, Anchor didn't play Gears, but you played Gears, right, B?
Yeah, I play Gears.
You think it's more of the same?
I think they played it really safe. I think there's a lot of similarities to the old games, but there's some neat stuff in there. If you're a newcomer or even a veteran to the series, there's some pretty cool stuff in there as well. So, but I think they'll step out of the box with the next game. Yeah,
they did say that. Coalition, if you guys don't know, Coalition did come out and said that they played it safe because they want people to know that they can make a Gears game. But the next game they come out with, they're going to try to innovate and push the boundaries of the game and experiment and things like that. So we'll see what they'll do with the next Gears 5. But Gears 4 to me just feels similar, but it feels different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they have new enemies in the game, but just based on what I play so far, knowing what is coming in the future, the game you just didn't get that sense of pace in the game. Like Gears 1, 2, and 3, there were times where there was just a calm. You're walking, you're talking, you're going through doors or corridors. In this game, I just feel like it's always action. I'm just always moving. Like, I don't stop. It's just going. Even when you take that you cleared sound, ding, that cleared noise that you get in Gears when you cleared all the enemies and stuff like that, I still feel like as soon as everything is cleared, as soon as you hit that corner, you're right back into the and you're back fighting again. So it feels definitely different to me. But that seems to be very people have been really impressed with that, and that seems to be selling really well. You got Forza Horizon 3, highly rated. That's selling pretty well. Now we have Dead Rising coming out, which is timed exclusive in December. And a lot of people who played Dead Rising on the Xbox One at launch, if you played that, which I thought was really impressive, was going to be really blown away by what they have in store for Dead Rising 4. Microsoft right now needs to continue to push the Slim. The Pro is going to come out. That's going to be stiff competition for them. And I really hope that, and I don't hope anything bad on the Pro. I hope the Pro sells extremely well. That's great for the industry. But I really hope that Microsoft continues to push their console and push these commercials. Did you see that commercial they put out?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did.
Smart commercial. I mean, like, I know a lot of people were flipping out about it.
Bro, that commercial though. B, you seen that commercial? You see what they said in that commercial, B?
Yeah.
Yo, let me tell you about this commercial, man. Shout out to Aaron Greenberg and the marketing team over there at Microsoft for their smart and witty and conniving thinking when it comes to these commercials. Microsoft put out a commercial for the Xbox One Slim that hits all the points that it should hit. But the crazy thing about it, it says it's the number one selling console in America. The number one selling console. Then this what's crazy about that is that it's true and it's a lie at the same time. It's true. No, it is though. It's true and it's a lie at the same time. As an Xbox fan, if I say anything like that on Twitter, I get blasted. I will get destroyed. But this is Tick Podcast. This is my sanctuary, so I get to say whatever I want. But let's just be honest here. We all know PlayStation is the number one console sold in America. However,
but it's not the best selling console, which is
but it's
hilarious.
best selling. Number one selling console the last 3 months has been the Xbox One, but the number one selling console in America is the PlayStation 4.
Right.
Hilarious, bro. Absolutely hilarious. Microsoft, I don't know how they pull this marketing stunts off, but they do a great job at it, man. I had to applaud them, but I said a lot of PS fans are not gonna like this. They're not gonna like this commercial, and they went off for
it. They can't be too mad, man. Sony was trolling just a couple years back, so you know.
Yo, Sony be trolling hard, bro. Sony's trying to calm down though,
man. Yeah, so Sony's trying to get real humble real quick right now.
Nah, they get real humble though. Yeah,
they're not really humble, but they're calming down, and they're like, we can't be strutting our stuff right now.
Well, that's because they got the Pro coming out. The Pro, what's crazy is that the Pro didn't get a lot of reception. Like it didn't get a lot of applause. It's going to sell like hotcakes. PSVR has been selling extremely well.
That's because everybody was asleep when they showed it off, man. That's why.
Yeah, that could be true. I know a lot of people. I've seen there were some dudes on some of the other podcasts who were down in the PSVR. All I've seen from PSVR is nothing but high praise. That they actually, and listen, Oculus and Vive have been out for a longer time, and a lot of people have used it and experimented with it, and all I've heard is PSVR is super impressive and is the best virtual reality device out there today. And that says a lot. That really says a lot to me.
What I've been hearing is the headset's more comfortable to wear, and for what you pay, it's worthwhile. But like in terms of best experience, I think this is the consensus I've seen is it's been the Vive. But again, you spend a ton of money for that.
I mean, power-wise, yes, the Vive clearly, but I think as an overall package, whether it's comfortable or not, I heard that the if you use like the little gun with the little wand on it or whatever, is really accurate as well. I think the biggest issue they had is the resolution problem that the PS4 has, whereas if you get the Pro, it kind of fixes that issue. And that was the biggest thing I've heard. But besides that, those are the two biggest issues with it. So that's been selling really well. But Microsoft has to continue to sell their console. A lot of people is going to buy it because it's a 4K Blu-ray Ultra HD player. And it's really smart that they continue to market that. What are you guys thinking?
I don't know. I mean, this is the holiday. This is where Microsoft kind of takes it over in terms of marketing and their big push. But I mean, I don't know how the Pro is going to fall. That's the thing. I got to see I want to see the NPDs look like in December when we actually get them for November. Because I don't know. I think it'll be telling for how Scorpio falls. Because if no one gets onto this Pro thing, like, oh, what's the point? What's the point in getting it? Like, if no one jumps on, I might be a little worried about Scorpio, because people be like, oh, what's the point in getting Scorpio? I don't really don't care about this graphical update thing. As long as I can play the games, we're good.
Yeah, but did you heard what Cerny said? We read some tweet earlier that Cerny said, which to me just sounds almost like it almost sounds like an Xbox marketing person worked for PlayStation, and they gave him this script, and they talking about how PlayStation has these 16-bit rendering I forget what it's called. It's like two 16-bit rendering options in the console.
The rendering floats.
Yeah, the rendering floats. In
Yeah.
that if you what is it, Anchor? If you don't use all of
Oh, it
the
was something like
resources,
if you cut all the other tasks that the system's performing or something like that. I'm no technical person. But this is what it sounded like. That if you basically put all the effort into one thing, basically if you turn the PlayStation 4 into a PlayStation 2 with no UI, no anything else, a simple put it in the disc and play, it could do like 8.4 teraflops.
8.4 teraflops. You can't make this up, bro. You cannot make this up. That is a Xbox marketing play 101. Like if we're gonna give you 10 times the computational power. Every Xbox has 10 times the computational power with the cloud. We until we get the cloud, we can't really tell what it can do. I mean, based on what we've seen, demo wise, it absolutely looks like it's going to do that. But until we get it, we don't know. Until we see it, we don't know. At the same time, how going from 4.2 to 8.4 and doubling the teraflops, even though the actual physical teraflops isn't in the console, but the computational power can do that. Come on, man. What are we talking about right now?
And if they were going to do anything with that, I'm pretty sure Sony would have come out and said, we got more teraflops this holiday.
They would have definitely came out and said something. So, I wouldn't look at it from that perspective, man. I would take that with a grain of salt, clearly. But look, that's not to say that the PS4 Pro won't be an impressive machine. I just think that for me, for my dollar, if I'm going to get a console, I would definitely pick up a Slim because of all the features that it has within and stuff like that. Unless you really want 3 times the power. They showed those Spider-Man and Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man they got coming out. They showed those Spider-Man on both the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. And really, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not saying I don't see a difference. I do see a difference. I just don't know if it's significant enough to make me want to go out and buy another console upgrade if I already have a PS4.
I don't know. The only thing right now, at least for a Spider-Man game, is they got to get that render distance. And they got to get that speed. Like that's the big thing. Like that's the only graphical changes that I'd like to see at least with the Spider-Man game. Because the thing is, if again, I have to see the web slinging for that Spider-Man game.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see it
Mm-hmm.
because if they don't get that right, I'm not even interested. Not even gonna bother. Like it's just written off my list because I'm so tired of all these messed up web slinging mechanics. But because the big thing is once your speed starts going though,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Spider-Man games have a problem rendering anything that's coming towards you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bet. I gotta see that first.
Well, we're getting close towards the end of our show. We don't want to be on too late. I want to thank everybody for stopping in and hanging out with us tonight as we get a chance to talk about some of the hot topics that's going on in the industry and some of the things that happened today. But, just finishing up, man, I think Microsoft, again, is on the right path. They're doing the right things. They got everything rolling in their favor. Phil Spencer continues to talk about Scorpio's price points. He continues to talk about what we could possibly expect with that console when it releases. And it's a possibility it may release early. It's a possibility it may not release in fall because he's saying they're ahead of schedule. If you're ahead of schedule, oh my God, the optimization that's left on that console is going to be crazy. The one thing that I do hope, and the one thing that I'm really glad to the fact that he said that they are early, is that they don't release an incomplete console like they did the Xbox One. Oh my God, it was so tragic. Can people think back to when you first got your Xbox One and how bare bones it was? Just think about that.
I mean, you got to remember, man, they had to strip everything at the last minute. So, like, the console probably was complete, but because of some decisions and stuff that they made at the end with the previous,
bro, if you have
Xbox, they had to make some changes at the last minute. So I think if they didn't have to make those changes, we would have been good out the gate. But
I just feel like
we kind of they stumbled a little bit.
I just feel like, man, I just think all the way back to when I first got my day one console and I was playing games on it. It was just so bare. The UI was so bare. The features were so bare. and I think about where it is, it's a completely different console. So Scorpio, I believe, because it's just a continuation of the Xbox One, will have the same UI or something similar to that effect. I would hope that because of its power and because of what it's built to do and those 12 teraflops, it'll be faster. I hope they fix the downloading. This is a few things that I hope. I hope they fix the downloading with the games. Like if you buy a game and you install it by disc, or you install it by downloading it. I hope that they have a similar download system to PlayStation's PS4, which downloads and caches games a lot faster. So hopefully they're able to get that implemented to the Scorpio. Everything they do with the Scorpio needs to be double the improvement on the Xbox One. Like it really needs to be that, especially considering that Scorpio is, I guess the pro version of the Xbox One. I think people still think that this is like some type of new console, but it's not. That's the only thing they've ever said is that the Scorpio is a premium Xbox One. That's exactly what it is. So I look forward to what they have to show next year. And by the way, October 26th is coming up, and they're going to be having an event this week, I believe it is, right? Next week, on the 26th. And it's the Windows event, but they're going to have some Xbox news there. It's very small. I don't know what it's going to be, but Phil said to tune in. So definitely tune in. Don't miss that. Guys, have any last words before we head out? Any thoughts? Any things you want to touch on?
Not for me.
No, just go Cubs, man. We trying to get to the World Series, so go Cubs. Shout out to my Cubs, man.
If the Cubs make the World Series, bro, it's the end of the world. It's Armageddon, bro. The curse has been broken. We're all gonna die, bro. Oh Lord, it's just crazy. This is amazing. I didn't even know. I don't even follow baseball like that. And the Cubs are close to the World Series. That's incredible. Congratulations to the Chicagoan people. That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
That
man.
is definitely what's up. Yeah, definitely. So, man. So that's it for the show this week. We will be back next week. Not next week. We'll be back next week. You're off next week, right, B?
Yeah, let's hit them right back next week, man. So we get back on schedule.
All right, cool. So we'll be back next week, Friday. Same bat channel, same bat time. We're gonna do this at 11 o'clock. It's gonna be a little bit later, but it's really a good time for us. We just have so much things happening during the day. Anchorman works now very often, regularly.
Finally.
And so definitely 11 p.m. will be the new schedule. Look like we got a really great turnout around this time, the Late Show with Tick Podcast. And we'll definitely be back Mondays as usual. You will have a multiverse podcast with Anchorman, Fame Entertainment, and Undead. Those guys get a chance. Oh, and of course, my man Josh Sterling. Can't forget my man from the UK. That show is really awesome. If you're into movies and you're into comics and you're into gaming, that is a great show to talk about. They'll probably be talking about the old man Logan trailer that just went by. My man's out here looking like a hobo trying to save Professor X. It's just crazy to me. And then you have Kid Smooth and his controversial self causing drama everywhere he goes on Tuesdays with the Writer's Block. Shout out to Nicodemus X, our PlayStation head, Fame Entertainment, and that team. You have your boy, the hero, the last on the planet, Xbox, on Wednesdays with Super Pod Shots. And of course, Tick Podcast, usually either Thursday or Friday, depending on how we can get this thing done. So I want to thank everybody for stopping out. If you have any questions, we will try to do a quick 10-minute question section. You can leave some in the comment section. If not, we want to thank you again for stopping in and hanging with us this evening, and we really appreciate it. I'm your host, KLWarXKL, the last on the planet Xbox, with B Money 101 and Anchorman V, and we are off this planet. Peace. Cool, man. So yeah, man, great show. Want to thank everybody for stopping out. There was a question earlier in the show from Anthony Kawana. He said, do you guys think they'll show a new trailer at the PlayStation Experience for, I guess, Red Dead Redemption 2?
You know what? I'm going to say no, simply because everyone keeps expecting them to do that. Seriously though, think about it. Like, they've said like 2 times now at a PlayStation event they're going to show off something. Like, oh, at E3 they're going to show off Red Dead Redemption. No, Didn't happen. They said, and the PlayStation Pro reveal, they're going to have a trailer for Red Dead Redemption. No. So, I mean, just don't expect it, and you'll be happy.
Right.
Yeah, I think if anything, it'll be at the Video Game Awards or like Rockstar always does. They do their own thing, so it'll come out on some random Thursday or something like that.
They're going to do it.
Going crazy.
I mean, I think it may show up at PSX. I mean, PSX is a big event for PlayStation, and they get an opportunity to talk about what they're presenting and what they're going to show off. Honestly, it's not. But I'll be honest though, it's not really a event where it's like E3. So I don't want to get people hopes up because the last two PlayStation experiences, in my opinion, was kind of disappointing. But if they were to show off Red Dead at this event, that would be huge. Might be the biggest game they showed so far, in my opinion. That would be really big for them if they were able to do that. But I don't know if they will. But we'll see what happens whenever the PlayStation event pops off. Zach Karim he says that he'll be sold on the Nintendo Switch if a game like Witcher 3 can play without problems and compromises. I don't know.
That's a tall task, man.
That's a tall task, bro. Witcher 3 is very demanding. Very demanding. I don't think that will happen. I don't think it would happen. I don't even think that this game. First of all, they run on cartridges. A lot of people. I don't even think people understand that this thing runs on cartridges. But I did hear that the cartridges have more storage than Blu-rays, like a terabyte worth of storage almost.
Yeah, you got to think, man. They're just like SD cards. Like the largest SD card you can get right now is like 2 terabytes. So, depending on what size they use, they can definitely be larger than a Blu-ray disc.
Dude, these games would be huge. These games are going to be huge if people really take advantage of the space on these things. Think about this. No longer will you have to worry about getting an 80 gigabyte download. You know what I'm saying? Like a bonus 40 gig download after you install the game. You got another 40 gig download coming from online or a day one patch. You can put all of this stuff on this cartridge and not even worry about it.
Yeah, and that before I leave, I want to mention this. And people were saying like, "Oh, well, that's going backwards." And it's like, actually, if you really think about it, no. It really is it's just coming full circle again, because we started off with cartridges. That worked out pretty well for a while, and then we need to have more storage, so we moved to disk base. And the thing is, we could spin the disk fast enough, but now, I mean, with the trays we have, we can't get the information off of the disk fast enough.
Right.
We really can't. And so all the games we have, we install to our hard drive anyway.
Right.
I mean, I think cartridges are actually kind of the right way to go.
It's just funny that they've gone back to cartridges after switching to, it's one thing I give Nintendo props for. They always do their own thing. They just do. They don't follow nobody's rules, bro. They don't care if it's a failure. They will just scrap it and start all over again. And they've done it this time. They're going back to cartridges, which is just crazy to me. But I'm excited about that. Oh, man, it's just crazy.
I'll see you guys later. I gotta go to sleep.
All right, Anchor, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping in with us and hanging.
Yep.
All
right, Anchor, man.
And just finishing up, Anthony Kawona says the Nintendo Switch sounds pretty dope. I like the Switch name. It's cool. I would have preferred the initial rumor name of Duo, Nintendo Duo. I thought that was pretty dope. But Switch is cool because it makes sense. You want to switch between a handheld or you want to switch between a console. So I'm just glad it's not anything Wii. Anything related, anything that's got a stupid sounding name to me, I'm just glad it's not that. That's what I'm happy for. More than
I wish it was just called the NES or something just simple. But I'm good with the Switch name.
Yeah, definitely.
It implies what it does, so it's not confusing like the Wii U. Nobody knew what that was for the longest time. So.
Nobody knew what it was. Everybody thought the screen was like a peripheral to the Wii. That was the problem. That's crazy. Courtney Spin says, "Laugh my ass off, yo, y'all funny. Switch is looking like a 1.1 teraflop GPU. What I'm wondering is the online functionality. There will always be a day one patch with the way games are being made now." That is absolutely true. I think there'll be a 1 day patch. But you know what? Nintendo always has a seal of quality, though. They
Yeah.
always do. There's just a quality about Nintendo. This is really turning into the Nintendo show today, which is weird to me. But Nintendo has always had a seal of quality. They just when they produce their games aren't very demanding. They really aren't, and they rarely have any bugs or issues. They don't run games like Microsoft or PlayStation, which are very PC like. So the bugs are to be expected because they are very PC like. Nintendo's always just been about consoles. They just very console centric. The games are console centric. Everything runs like a console. So it just seems that it's less issues when it comes to patches for their titles. 1.1 teraflop GPU, I don't really care, man. I mean, it's Nintendo. I don't expect anything special from Nintendo graphically or power wise. I expect fun. I expect to have a good fun experience, and I expect it to be like that family console that I like to have in my living room with my 4-year-old son as he gets older and we can play Mario together, or other platformers and stuff that will get him into gaming. But besides that, all my hardcore gaming, third party gaming will be done on Scorpio.
I
Absolutely
mean,
done on Scorpio.
in regards to the GPU thing, if you go to NVIDIA's website, they actually said that the GPU that they use in the Switch is actually on par with the latest GeForce graphics cards that they released. So I wouldn't expect it to be that low in power. I mean, it's going to be on
Mm,
par with what we see. Probably on the base Xbox One and the base PS4. So I
right,
think it'll do what it's got to do to kind of survive out there in the wild. It doesn't have to be on par with the Pro or the Scorpio to be
right.
successful.
Courtney Smith says, but what about Bethesda and 2K? They're Bug City. I mean, but those are third party titles. You know what I'm saying? But now you're putting third party titles on cartridges. I don't know, man. I just don't know if it'll be the same. It's possible because it all comes from the same place. Those games will probably be ported over from PlayStation or Xbox over to the Switch. But I think at the end of the day, man, a lot of people is going to buy this console because of its portability. A lot of people are going to buy it because you're able to dock it at home. They have a regular controller for once, and it looks cool
And
to
you'll
admit.
probably see a lot of people buy like single player games. So like that's the one thing that I noticed, with them showing off Skyrim, the Mario game and stuff like that. Like they showed some multiplayer stuff there, but I think what you really went home with is those single player games you can take on the go.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, man. So I think that's it. That's it. 12:05 a.m. in the morning. It is Friday morning. Um, uh, we will be back next week. Courtney Spence asks, do you think they will resurrect old IPs? Nintendo always resurrects old IPs, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They do. I would expect it. I would definitely expect it.
I think this is actually the perfect timing. You know what I mean? Now that they got the new console, they can kind of ride this wave. I think they should actually hit new IPs kind of early and just see what they do.
You know who needs to resurrect new old IPs? Microsoft. They need to get off
Yeah,
their ass and start resurrecting Crimson Skies and Fusion Frenzy and some of those old IPs like Mech Warrior that we keep asking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Shout out to Voodoo Vince. I didn't play the
yeah.
game, and that's great on their part. But what about the games people want? Mecha Warrior and Crimson Skies and Fusion Frenzy, Conquer. People want these franchises. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know what Microsoft is doing. But I'm not going to sit up here and say they haven't been doing a good job because then I'll be lying to myself. But at the same time, there's a lot of games that we all want. There's a lot of games that we would love for them to bring back. I really hope that we get sequels to Lost Odyssey or some type of new JRPGs coming up. Microsoft has a lot of games coming out next year as well.
Do you think
Crackdown.
that's going to be a part of the? Because when they had that hashtag of like bring back OG Xbox games,
Yeah.
and there's been a little bit more talk about them, bringing doing it back compat with the OG Xbox games. You think they're
Mm-hmm.
going to target those games that were kind of highly requested or
I
whatever?
would. If they Microsoft, I would target any game that I own. First of all, just like Xbox one, any game that I own IP wise, I would immediately put on a console with full Xbox Live functionality. Could you imagine? Like, I would love for a game like Fusion Frenzy to have online play. That was one of the few games that was local multiplayer, but you can
Yeah.
actually tweak that and have it with online. And it was only 4 players, but they don't have a party game. And I like having those party games, but it's just little mini games, and you're just running around trying to survive each match until you get to the end, like a Mario Party. I just like games like that. It's very fun and it's addicting and stuff, and it's just fun. It's just fun. Everything doesn't have to be serious all the time.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So I think that'd be really cool. But Microsoft's done a great job with games like Killing Instinct, resurrecting that. Phantom Dust is still in the works. It's not dead. It's still in the works, but that's another game that they resurrected. Voodoo Vince Remaster is supposed to be coming. They have a lot of IPs that a lot of people just tend to forget, and I really hope that they're able to bring those franchises back. It'd be really important that they did that because it would really bolster their library big time.
Yeah, most definitely.
So that's it, man. That's it for our show this week. We'll be back next week. Like I said before, again, we'll be back Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out and hang with us Friday nights. And this is Tick Podcast Premiere, the premier podcast for Xbox One. I'm your host, KOR X Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox with B Money 101. And we are off this planet, guys. You have a great night. Peace out.
Peace.